Welcome, everybody. I just want to introduce today Kevin Davis. He's an independent author and comic creator. We met on Facebook. He was telling me he got a new Kickstarter campaign. It's for Hallowfien #1, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna get into that in a minute, but before we get down to the nitty-gritty, man, let's tell us about yourself. Let's get to know who you are as a creator.
Well, first, my name is Kevin Davis. I am the founder and CEO of Keviside Global, which is my publishing company.
Hmm.
I've been in comics for this year as of May. As well as we get to May, it'll be my four years in comics
Hmm.
now.
Okay.
But I've been an independent author since about 2020. I started reading comics around 2020. I did not grow up on comics at all,
Okay.
like at
All right.
all. Crazy, right?
No, I feel you.
Um,
I feel you. I feel you.
but I
I
didn't.
was the same way a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've always watched movies like the Marvel DC movies, and I even Hellboy that I didn't know that was a comic either.
Hmm.
Man, I've always been a nerd my entire life. Of course, I mean, when I was young, I was embarrassed about it because I didn't think it was cool because I was trying to be
Hmm.
around people, was trying to be cool and stuff. Until I got to the point, I was like, why am I
Yeah.
trying to impress anybody when I could just be me, for God's sakes, man? Like
Yeah,
for real.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm a creator, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been told I'm a go-giver.
Hmm.
I've been yelled at for not sleeping because
Yeah, the grind don't
I,
stop, man. Grind
yeah,
does
yeah,
not
the
stop.
grind does not stop. My mind goes a million miles per hour every hour,
Hmm.
man. Because I've been outside of publishing. I'm working on my own clothing brand coming
Nice.
soon.
Okay.
I have my own shoes. That's actually out on my website, kevinslide.com. My shoes are out. I got some merchandise based on my comics. That's also my website right now. But
Nice.
my
So
clothing
you just
brand,
hustling, just hustling.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
But
That's
my
it.
clothing brand is gonna be a completely different thing because it's gonna be like
Hmm.
more of a mental health type of clothing brand with
Yeah,
whole
that's what's
different
up.
type of designs. Like it's gonna be like some horror anime with the messages of
Okay.
mental health. So yeah, I got that in the works. I'm going as crazy as I'm working on my own drink company too down the road.
Yo,
So,
hey, do it, man. It's all about hustling, man. We got none but
oh yeah,
time on
brother.
this planet, man. Let's get it in. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying? Let's
brother.
take them creative juices and let's get going. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes, sir.
touching back like what you said, you weren't into comics really growing up. To me,
Mm.
when I was younger, I did. I read comics. I had a bunch of comics when I was little, but once I was a teenager, I grew up in Brooklyn. Last thing we was doing was reading comics. You know what I'm saying? Like, well,
Uh,
my focus was elsewhere. So I got a little bit older, and I sat back down with them, and then I was like, oh man, like I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah,
You know what
dude.
I'm saying?
Man,
But enough
man,
about me.
I started comics in 2020 when
Okay.
because
So
I
like
was on
during
TikTok
COVID.
yeah, literally COVID on TikTok. I learned about Marvel and DC comics.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like bought like their digital copy because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it, so I'm not gonna buy the physicals right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so of course I had to get my Spider-Man, my Blade,
Hmm.
Ghost Rider, Black Panther, Thor,
Okay.
Captain America.
Nice.
And then I learned about independent comics like Black Sands
Hmm.
Entertainment, Ace Blade Comics.
Hmm.
I even, I'm not sure Dark Horse is even considered independent, but I learned that because I'm a big fan of Hellboy. I learned they publish Hellboy comics, so
Yeah.
I had to cop those Hellboy comics, brother. Man.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, everything in my shelf is independent comics physical. I'm like I don't
Okay.
even care about the big two. Like I really don't
Yeah.
care.
To
I'm
me,
independent.
everything is whatever with those guys. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
flood the market. I love just like picking up on indie stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Heck
Like
yes, dude.
I feel like some of the best stories you're gonna find are on the indie scene. For real.
Agreed.
For real.
Agreed.
For
But
real.
I even learned that Sonic it has comic books too. So I'm a huge Sonic fan as well. So, I have to get those, man.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah.
So when did you realize you wanted to do more than just read comics and you wanted to put those thoughts that you had right on the paper?
When I started actually reading them, I'll be honest.
Okay. Okay.
But I started out actually writing novels first,
Okay.
trying to hone my craft and
Hmm.
see what I could what I could do,
Yeah,
basically.
what works? Yeah.
And turns out, and I actually found out my mother's a writer too, so it turns out it's in my blood.
Oh, that's what's
and
up.
she let me read her murder mystery book before it's published. And when I tell
Okay.
you, I could not put that book down for the life of me, brother.
Oh yeah.
I was pissed when people called my name while I'm reading this freaking book,
You gotta send me
bro.
the link.
But oh, it's not. She's rehashing it right now, so I can't
Okay.
say anything yet. But I'll be publishing her when she's ready.
Okay.
So like but yeah, when and I got into studying how to write comics because I got curious. I'm like, how do they create these things? Like
Yeah.
what goes into this? And so I got curious. I started researching. I even found comic writers and creators around, asking questions like, how
Yeah,
do you
just
write
picking a
these
brain.
books? Like, how the heck do
Yeah.
you get into this? I
Yeah.
got some advice, and at first I was going to hire like a comic writer to write a story that I want to do.
hmm
But then I was like, you know what? You might not be able to understand where my mind is going.
Yeah.
Because I've
hmm
been told I have a crazy imagination, and my artists always tell me, say, "Dude, you have a crazy, scary mind." When they read my
Okay.
scripts, and so I was like, I guess I'm a control freak, but I because I know what I want, and I'm not sure
Exactly.
if someone can actually translate what I want, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's
Uh,
this, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure if somebody's gonna do that work for you, it's gotta be exactly how you envision it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like you don't want to cut no corners because then it may just not
Mhm.
hit the way you want it to hit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly,
the
exactly.
spices
Yeah.
got to be just right. You know what I
Yes,
mean? The
sir.
thing, you know, you got to make sure you
Heck
got a
yeah,
little bit of
dude.
this, some
Oh
little
my
bit of
God.
that. Yeah,
Man,
absolutely.
and like also I tell everybody this. I mean, I got tired with the Hollywood rehashes and like the
Oh yeah.
reboots and like
hmm
it felt like no originality, no
No,
creativity.
no,
And
absolutely
I got
not.
to a point where I was like, why am I waiting on somebody else to do a story that I want to see when I can just freaking do it myself? Like, yes, it's gonna take
Exactly.
time and money, but I'd rather take time and money and invest into my own self and
hmm
wait on somebody else to do it. And
Yeah.
so to like good 2 years studying how to write scripts and everything. And I wrote my first script, my first comic, Arcfire, in 2023, and
Okay.
got that sucker into production. This is actually the poster of it right here.
Okay. That's what's up.
My friend, I painted the cover for of issue 1,
Oh, nice.
and then
Yeah, that's what's up.
she gave it to me as a gift. And dude, and I've been grinding since then on comics as I love storytelling, and I just want
hmm
to my inspiration. I want to be like inspiration to people. Like I want to get people back to reading, like to grow
Yeah.
their imagination. I'm like from kids to adults to everybody. Just if you just need a moment to escape the world for a minute,
Yeah, I
that's
feel like
literally my goal.
we're too stuck on the phones and everything else. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. We just sometimes I feel like we just need to take a step back and just whether it's read a comic book, read a novel, read something. Just
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? Give your eyes a break and let
Oh
your
yeah.
mind open up a little bit. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
So when you created your first comic, like how was that like? Like how was that experience?
So man, it was a hassle because trying to find the right artist
hmm
and learning the pricing of the artist's work, and
Yeah.
then you have to be weary of scam artists.
Oh
So
yeah. Mhm.
there's
My
so
first
many of them. It's
comic.
ridiculous. Oh my God.
Yep, my first comic.
Um,
I got s- I got scammed by some artists. You know what I'm
uh,
saying? He
yeah,
literally pushed me back like a year and some change, and like
yeah, it's
$500.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
But
crazy, man.
it's a lesson well learned. You know what I mean?
Facts. That's
You
why I'm
know.
very picky when
hmm
someone try to reach out to me. I look at their profile first and everything. I was like, nah, I'm not interested. I know you finna, if I accept your friend request, you're gonna try to offer me like a 3D printing something I don't care about or some random stuff. But when I first started writing Arcfire, I
hmm
went through so many hashes of it. Because well, it went through so many title changes first because I
hmm
don't know what the heck I wanted to call it. And it was like I don't know, it was one time I was watching something on TV. It might have been Stranger Things. It probably
hmm
was. Yeah, I think it was like Stranger Things season 4 because season 4 was 4 years ago now. So and I just I was it was on my TV. I got inspired and like and started getting visuals of my character in my head and like the story I want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also a big Zack Snyder fan because he has
Okay.
a great he's a great visual
Yeah.
um
Mm-hmm.
vi
Oh yeah.
visual cinematographer. If that's I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's what it's called. Um, and so I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting the flow what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, but what's the title and what's the character name? And then right out the blue, I randomly said I don't know how, but when I said Arc Fire, it's like
Okay.
no, I said Arc. I was like, then I'm like, oh, that's fire. I was like, wait, Arc, Arc
Yeah. Sometimes it
Fire.
comes out of nowhere. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere.
It's like Arc Fire. And then
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it out. At first, I spelled it like ARK F I Then now I want to do something different. So I did
Mm-hmm.
ARKFYRE.
Okay. Okay.
And that's how I was like,
Hmm.
Arc Fire. I was like,
Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
And I was like, then I learned about different art styles. I was like, some manga style, American style, Russian
Hmm.
style. I was like, then I kept singing the character in my head. I was like, he might look good as a good manga Western style a bit. I was like,
Yeah.
huh.
That's what's up.
So, and then my artist Ralphie, he found me on Facebook, and because I made a post looking for an artist, and he messaged
Hmm.
me, and his artwork was out, look, he
Hmm.
top tier,
Phenomenal. Okay.
top freaking tier. He gave me his pricing. I was like, really? You charge that much? Then I found out he lives in Philippines. I was like,
Okay.
y'all have a good living out there. I was like,
Hmm.
interesting. Because his art style is, oh my
Hmm.
God.
Yeah.
But the way I do it, I test to see if I can be friends with you before I can even think about like a business partnership.
Yeah.
And we became friends instantly. He is
Hmm.
such a
Yeah. You
nerd
want to
like
build that
me.
rapport. Hmm.
Exactly. And he's such a nerd, and dude, and now we still going. We got issue two finna go to print now. I'm writing I'm writing issue 3 and 4. I already got the issue
Hmm.
3 and 4 covers done by Ralphie.
Nice.
So
That's what's up. That's what's up.
it's fun. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
having
a
a blast, man.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
When I first
man,
started, it was it was a learning curve. I
oh
definitely
yeah,
hit a few walls, but once that train started moving, man, it wasn't stopping me.
yes
It wasn't
sir.
stopping me. I was cooking up project after project, covers, variant
Oh
covers, man.
yeah,
I was
oh
just
yeah.
man, I was pushing this. You thought I was slanging. That's how I was. But
Man, it'd
you
be
did
funny if
mention you
people.
have that Kickstarter coming out. I was looking at it. The pages you put up look fire. Tell me a little about that. Tell me about that story.
So Hallowfien actually started out as a joke, bro.
Okay.
It's crazy. I was working with this independent film studio a couple years ago because I did a voice acting thing for one of the movies.
Okay.
And a friend of mine I met through the studio named Evan.
Hmm.
He's been an inspiring writer, and he connected with me. He always tells me that how I inspired him to write and get out his comfort zone.
Hmm.
And we both love clowns. I
Oh.
was like, we both love clowns and horror movies. And
Hmm.
we were just talking, joking around. I was like, and he was like, dude, what if we did like a clown story where it's like, let's say clown brothers, twin brothers, that's like going around social media killing people.
Okay. Okay.
And we call them the duplicate killers. I was like, I'm like, that would be funny as hell. And then of course my brain started to click. I was like, fuck.
Yo, that's how it happens, man. So it could be a little joke, a little something, and you're like, wait a minute, that's
Right,
I think I could kind of run
right.
with this. And let me see what I can do with this. And next thing you know,
Oh
the
yeah,
pen start going and
man.
you already got like a whole story arc framed out. You know what I
But
mean?
yeah, and at first I started writing as a novel, but then I got into comic. I was like, I actually want to do this a comic,
Yeah.
and I named it Hallowfien instead of Duplicate Killer. So he has a
Hmm.
version called Duplicate Killer. That's a novel. So he wrote a novel version.
Okay.
That
Nice.
I'm actually published. I actually published his first book, called Untold Stories of Officer Bob, which is out on Amazon now and Barnes
Hmm.
and Noble and stuff.
Nice.
So I'm currently editing his Duplicate Killer book now
Nice.
and his other book. So I'm editing his books, and I'm like, because I'm like, I'm doing a comic version called Hallowfien, and he asked me, he's like, can I do the novel version? It's called a Duplicate Killer. I was like, I don't care, shit. It's both our ideas. I was like, why not? And so in Hallowfien, now to get back to your question, to Hallowfien, the story is it takes place years later. It's like years later. The
Uh,
twin brothers are Ethan and Evan. They are supposedly dead after years of killing people. And but for some reason, there's two new clowns in the mix
okay.
in Hallowfien, and so you like people like and like the characters are one of them like, wait, how are there two clowns when Ethan and Evan died years ago?
Yeah.
And they're doing it, and these two clowns doing the exact same thing Ethan and Evan did, going around social media, picking their that's random people like as their victim. But but this two clowns actually picked a group of friends for some reason. So they're actually turning the stakes up. So
Okay.
now you question like, okay, why are they talking a group of friends? Like still killing other people, but they keep coming back to this specific group.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, I want when you're reading out, I want people to act and say, okay, why this group? Can we trust any of these people in this group?
Mm-hmm.
And how are they connected to the original duplicate killers?
Okay. All right.
So and so I call it's a psychological thriller, horror story. It will have I will not to spoil much, but it will have some supernatural element to it. I'll say that.
Okay. All right.
But and I'll say this, and this Kickstarter is part one of a two-part saga because, dude, I don't want to do too much with this story
I
because
was
this
just
is
about to
one,
ask you how
yeah,
far you were gonna go with the story because I did notice on the Kickstarter it said issue one of two, so I was like, "Is this gonna
yeah.
be like a two
I'm only
story?"
doing a two-parter with this
Okay.
story because, like people, what people say today, I don't want to milk the franchise.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Uh, um,
Hey, but ain't
but
nothing
this is
wrong
like
with
one of the
making
most
some money
toughest.
off that milk.
Yeah, right. And like this is one of the toughest stories I have
Mhm.
ever been writing.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm going to cut it at two parts because I'm like, I don't, because one, this is crazy how the hell this just came about because it was a joke at first.
Okay.
Um, but I don't want to do too much with it. It's just a simple two-part shot. So this can start as part one, and part two will come down the road, probably 2027 because I have other projects in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is part one of two, and I'm
All
going to
right.
keep it right there.
That's what's up.
But if
Are you gonna continue
um,
with like the novel portion of it, or just gonna?
that's up to Evan if he wants to do more
Yeah.
novels. I'll give that to him. I'll give it back to him. I'm saying you can continue the universe. I'm done.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm done with this one because
Okay.
but yeah, but
All
yeah.
right. All right. So out of all your projects you've created so far, whether novels or comics, which is your
Mm.
favorite? Like which resonates the most with you? Like you call it's my baby right here.
Arcfire because it's my
Okay.
beginning.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up.
yeah.
All
Because
right.
Arcfire is also like kind of my character is actually based on me because his story,
Mm-hmm.
the way the way the story starts, he wakes up in a cocoon egg in a science lab. But when he gets out, he has no memory of who he is or where he's from. So he's on this journey of self-discovery, and he has this cosmic power within him
Mm-hmm.
that he's learning to control and like learning where it's from. And so I said this story is kind of like my character's a bit of me because growing up, I didn't know who the hell I was, and I was
Yeah.
going through my self-discovery and
Okay.
like going through like my mental
Mm-hmm.
journey,
Yeah.
like ooh, excuse me, who am I? What's my purpose on this earth? I'm like, why did God put me here and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That's
And
what's up.
so now he's going the path of I'm like, is he good? Is he bad? Is he in between? Is he whatever? Because
Yeah.
there's villains coming after him for his power for some odd reason. 'Cause, we have three witches I call the Owen witches. They're kind of like my charm witches because I got inspired by Charm. I love the Charm series.
Okay.
And then there's a bigger villain coming down the road in the series. That's gonna bring it full circle with
Mm-hmm.
everything to showcase who Arcfire truly is. And with this series, I think I have about like 15, maybe 20 issues in my head. I'm thinking about doing, and then for the main Arcfire series, like about Arcfire.
Okay.
And then I'm planning spin-offs of Arcfire of like the supporting characters, like to
All
explore
right.
their stories and like because I
Okay.
want
So
every
you putting in work on this story.
yeah
Yeah.
I'm world building.
Nice. Nice, nice.
So I was like, because I want every character to feel important. I don't want to just have a
Hmm.
character just to be there for no freaking reason.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I was actually asked before, I said, is if my comics I bring out, are they connected somehow? Like,
Hmm.
even though they're horror fan, I was like,
Yeah.
yes. I'm like, yeah, they're in the same. It's the Kevin Side universe. Yes, it's horror, but
Okay.
it's the same. But they are connected. And down the road, I will have a crossover one shot book, which show you how my stories
Yeah.
are connected. I
Okay.
was like, yes. I'm like, yes. Arcfire, Hallowfien is connected, but you don't have to read you don't have to read them. You don't have to read Arcfire to understand
They're
Halloween because they're
separate
still,
stories on
yeah,
their own.
they're still completely different stories.
That's what's
But
up.
yes,
That's what's
they are
up.
connected. You can go either order. I'm like, I'm not
Hmm.
Marvel. You don't have to watch this to see this and yada
Yeah,
yada. I'm
yeah, yeah.
like, just
Hmm.
start anywhere you want to start. I don't care.
And eventually they y'all meet up in the middle and then y'all go y'all certain ways.
Exactly,
Yeah, that's what's
exactly.
up, man.
I was
That's
like,
what's up.
but yeah, down the road, I do have a graphic novel in mind of a one shot to explain. I was like, oh, this is the Kevin Side universe. This is how it created. This is the mythology of why these are connected or how these are connected. So,
Yeah.
but I am so excited for that one.
Yeah,
Actually,
it sounds
I've already
dope. Like
started
I
to
can't
outline.
wait.
I'm actually starting to outline it already because I already know what I want
Nice.
to do. Uh,
Nice. Nice.
but yeah.
That actually brings me on to my next question. As a creator, because I want this little podcast to be more than just, talking about, comics and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
also I want creators to kind of walk away with something from here, whether it's, how writing skills are, whatever it is. What
Mm-hmm.
is as you're building this world, as you just mentioned, what is your creative process in doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we all got our certain ways, our certain things. Like, what's yours? What's your creative process in putting this together?
And the creative process. Ooh, that's a good question. So one of my creative process when I'm writing, sometimes I kind of put like in the background no I put like background noise like on my TV,
Hmm.
like YouTube.
Yeah.
It depends on what story I'm writing. Like for example, Halloween, I put on like the Halloween theme song in my background to get myself in the
Hmm.
mood and to get in the process of I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
get
It's
into the
getting in that
mindset.
zone.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly, exactly. And then like Arcfire, I got the Stranger Things beat going,
Yeah.
mixed with like the Man of Steel score,
Uh-huh.
and even the Charm theme song, because that was like my inspirations behind
Yeah.
Arcfire. And so my creative process is one, just letting it, not to overthink it, just let it flow.
Hmm.
Like put like I don't believe in like writer's block in a way.
Hmm.
I think it's just people I talked to this I thought I should talk to a friend about this recently a couple of days ago on we was live that we both was like we think people use writer's block as an excuse that's like um not necessarily lazy, we just think that just holding it as an excuse not to get the work done.
Yeah.
And so you don't have a writer's block, you just need to get off that funk a bit, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I feel you 100%. I
Yeah, I was like,
agree
I'm like, you're not
100%.
blocked. I'm like,
Hmm.
well, yes, we know life kicks ass. Life kicks
Yeah.
our ass all the time, but you're not
Every day.
blocked. I'm like, you just need to stop. Don't allow that funk to
Hmm.
derail your creativity.
Yeah.
Something like, because something like also the reason you say you have a block is because you're overthinking what you're doing.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to take a
Like,
step back and just look at
exactly,
everything from a different perspective,
exactly, yeah,
analyze it and be like, all right, now let's cook, let's go back in the
exactly,
kitchen. Sometimes you need a break.
exactly.
You need a break because I know, I mean,
Yes,
we
yeah,
just go hard. We writing and
heck
thinking and
yeah.
creating, and then you just get overwhelmed. And he's like, all right, you know what? I made this so far. Let's see what it
Hmm.
looks like. And then you
Hmm.
know what? Let's go back when I'm ready.
Exactly. So I'm
Because
like,
I feel like it can't be forced. I feel like when we
it
try to
cannot. It cannot.
fight the block, if you want to call it that, you
Hmm.
forcing it, it don't come out well. You know when you're
Hmm.
ready. 'Cause once you sit in front of that computer or whatever it is you're doing, it's
Hmm.
just,
Yeah. Yeah.
without
Yeah.
even
Yeah. Yeah.
thinking. Hmm.
Yeah. Because as creators, we go like 100 miles per hour. I was like,
Yeah.
because we're letting it flow. That's how you
Yeah.
know you're getting it.
Hmm. Them
And
juices is
sometimes
going.
and sometimes you just need, like you said, take a break. Like get the way I do it. I sometimes go for a walk outside, like
Yeah.
get my mind into nature. when it's not snowing or raining. But yeah. But do some chores around the house. Get like put your mind on something else and just let your mind rest a bit
Hmm.
and just distract yourself. I was like, cause like don't be too much on social media because that only rots your brain.
Yeah.
It rots your
Yeah.
brain.
Oh my
It's too much
God. It's
stuff
brain
going
rot.
on.
Oh yeah.
I was
And
like,
then I feel like that
read.
just screws you
Heck,
up.
it really does. And like I'm like, dude, pick up a comic, pick up a novel.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
if you love fantasy,
Something.
read Percy Jackson, Hunger Games, or
Yeah.
Harry Potter for God's sakes. If you
Something.
love horror, find anything Stephen King, find anything what's John Carpenter. Or I was like, hell, go watch Marvel. Do you see it?
Yeah. Just get
Like
away from
anything?
the, just get off the phone.
Yeah, I
It's
was like,
it's too
dude, let's
it's
get
ridiculous
anything.
out there.
Yeah, just get anything that can just stimulate your mind a bit,
Hmm.
grow your imagination. That's how I
Yeah.
got into writing, because
Yeah.
writing is my therapy.
Hmm.
Because growing up,
Agreed.
I'm a big mental health advocate, so so I talk a lot about mental health, but because
Hmm.
I deal with it all the time, especially
Yeah.
growing up. I was
I
growing up in a
feel you.
house full of women in my entire life.
Hmm.
Only a male in my household. I was confused. I was angry. I was depressed. I had anxiety. Man, I blamed everybody else out
Yeah.
for bullshit. That was my fault, actually.
Uh-huh.
As I got older. And like, dude, I thought like I convinced myself my mother didn't love me and my
Yeah.
sister just doing my mother loved my sister more and all this
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, my sister was doing more shit than I was. I was like,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing anything.
Hmm.
I was like, if I was doing a lot of stuff as my sister, my mom would be
Yeah.
going back and forth between both of us because that's literally what she always done. She's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
encouraged, and I didn't see that as a kid. She always encouraged me to get in something so she could support me, but I didn't see that. I was too wrapped up in my own head.
Hmm. No, I feel you. I feel you
And
100%.
I was like, bro, and like when I and she got me into writing because
Hmm.
we had a deep conversation one day. She explained to me what she meant by saying she didn't want to have a son. She said she didn't want to have a son with the man she was with because she knew that
Yeah.
she was going to have to raise me by herself. So she was
Hmm.
terrified
Yeah.
and didn't know how to raise a man. I was
Hmm.
like, I was like, what?
No, I feel
And
you.
the way she had me deal with my anger, and she said, "Boy, sit your tail down, grab a notebook and pencil,
That's it.
because I'm not gonna raise no toxic, um,
Hmm.
a masculine man."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Sometimes you
you
gotta
ain't
let it
finna.
out one way
I was
or
like, you
another.
ain't. And she flat out said, "I ain't raising no boy. I'm raising a man, a
Yeah.
gentleman at that."
Hmm.
And she was like, I was like, you ain't finna go around beating no woman or anything. I ain't, no, that's not in my household. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you, she said, I will beat your tail if you before you try to beat somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Of
Sometimes
course, I'm
that
like,
pen and that pad is the best shoulder to
man,
lean on, you know?
heck yeah, man. And of course, I brushed it off because I didn't want to do it, but she made me sit in my room, and she would not let me leave until I actually started writing,
Yeah.
getting my
Now look.
thoughts out. And then I finally caved. I was like, fine, okay.
Yeah.
And then I started writing poetry.
There you go.
And I was being honest that I had thoughts of suicide. I
Hmm.
wanted to end it all. I did have those thoughts. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to admit that now.
Hmm.
But I did have those thoughts. I'm like purpose here. I'm like my sister has all this and that. I'm like,
Hmm.
what am I here for?
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Uh, yeah, I started writing poetry, and and that's not the reason why I got into horror a lot more because I like the darkness. I want and I want to hide in darkness. I think that's why I gravitated towards the horror side. But then I gotta balance because my mother didn't want me watching horror because I did sneak around even though she didn't want me to watch it. So,
Yeah, we always
but
gonna do what we want to do regardless.
yeah, but I grew up on. I'm a Disney kid. I'm a
Hmm.
Nickelodeon kid. I'm a Cartoon Network kid. Um, so yeah, and so I grew up on Lord of the Rings, Cat Dog, Keenan and Kel, um, all the old school animations and movies and everything. So I kind of got that balance. That's why horror and fantasy is really my strong suit in
Yeah.
writing. So yeah.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, like I started the same way. I started with poetry, and then like I said, I grew up in Brooklyn. Then I got
Heck
into
yeah.
music. I've always been a fan of hip hop since I was a youngin'.
Okay.
I grew up with hip hop, you know what I mean?
Mm,
So once I hit that age, my friends were rapping, so I was like, let me see what I could do here, because I just had
yeah.
all these thoughts and ideas and all these words, and then I started doing that. But I felt like, I mean, it was fun. We had a good time, put out some good music, but I felt like I needed more. I needed more,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
I needed a
Oh, heck
lot
yeah.
more than that. When I hit my 30s, I was like, I don't really want to. I'm too old for this, like. But I still want to create. I want to make something. And it's something I gotta do. Like I gotta.
Mm,
And then I was chilling with one of my homeboys at work. We were talking about the Marvel movies at the time, and I was just, it was like, yo, imagine us writing our own stories. And I was like, man, I think I could write a crazy comic book story if I tried.
heck
And a
yeah.
couple people were like, nah, I don't know. You too ghetto to write a comic book story. I'm like, and that's the kind of comic
Yeah,
book
though.
story I'm gonna write. I wrote the hoodest comic book story ever, and people loved it. Because
I was
that's what
like,
I
have you
like.
not seen, I mean, have you not seen Luke Cage?
Yeah, like I brought, like I said, I grew up in the city. I grew up in Brooklyn, grew up,
Heck yeah.
and I wanted to bring, I feel like, I've read a bunch of comic books and read a bunch, I just never felt like the Brooklyn and the city I grew up in wasn't
Mm,
captured like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the gritty,
mm,
the crackheads, the prostitutes, people getting jumped in the streets for no reason, the gangs. So I kind of brought that element into into the comic books I was doing, and they were like, "Yo, I can't believe this guy did it. Hey, he did it. Like this is
okay.
some real, for lack of a better word, some real hood shit. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And
heck yeah, dude.
and then
Man.
people liked it. And I was like, man, I guess I'll run with it. Even
Mm.
DMC for Run DMC, he loves it. Every time I
Man,
see him
Run
at a Comic
DMC.
Con,
Oh my God. Such
that
a legend.
to me,
Man.
that's where I felt like I got my stamp of approval. Because like I said, I grew up,
Mm,
hip hop was my thing. So I remember I was at New York City Comic Con, and he got his own comic books, and I was like, man, I gotta say what's up to this man. You know what I'm saying? So,
mm,
just not just off the comic book thing, but off of just everything, hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like
mm.
you're DMC, you know what I mean? And I
Heck
went
yeah.
up to him. I was like, yo, you know, much love. I want to give you something. He's like, give me something. It's like,
Mm,
yeah, here's this comic book. He looked at the
mm,
cover. He was like, yo, this is dope. And we talking. He's like, you're going to be here tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be here tomorrow. He's like, come see me tomorrow. If I like it, I'll let you know. But if it's shit, I'm going to tell you it's shit. So be prepared. Oh my God,
sir.
all day, all night.
Yes,
The
sir.
next day, I was like, oh my
Oh
God,
my God.
I'm going to die. And then I saw him the next day. I was just like a little nervous. And
Mm.
then he was doing the interview. Somebody had the camera there or whatever. And as soon as it was done, he's like, Matt, come in. I was like, oh shit. He remembered me. I don't know if this is good or if this is bad or what. And then he was like, where's the rest? I'm like, what do you mean, where's the rest? It's coming. He's like, this is the most hip hop comedy. He's like, I felt hip hop in there. I was like, don't tell me this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you about to make me cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you
Heck
doing?
yeah. Oh my
Like, what are
God.
you doing?
Dude. Heck yeah, dude.
But yeah, to me, I walked out of there, my head super held up high. Super held up high because it was DMC. And so the following year, I seen him. I gave him issue number two, and I had my daughter with me, my oldest. I take both my kids. They both into art. My oldest is more into comic book art and stuff like that. And they know hip hop. They love Crush Groove, and then when they see me with him, my daughter's like, Dad, you know who he is? I'm like, do you know who he is? I know who he is.
That
She's
part, I'm
like,
like,
but
do
why
you
is
know who he is?
yeah? She's like,
Yeah.
but why is he
Heck yeah.
showing you love? She's like, yo, that is real. I'm like, I told you, it's the hustle, man. It's all
Oh
about the
hell yeah.
hustle.
It's always the hustle, man. Heck yeah.
It's always the hustle. So you know what? You get it in.
Oh
You
yeah,
get it
man.
in. Ever since that day, that just gave me the motivation to keep going, because
Hmm.
I was like I said earlier, I wasn't really into comic books as a teenager. I pushed back, and I kind of got back into it as an adult and getting back into the community and all that. I didn't realize how big the comic book scene was, like I didn't realize that at all. And it was like, damn. And I mean, since then, I've gotten mad love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Oh
put
heck
out a
yeah.
couple. I got a couple different stories out. My main one, my baby, is my chaos theory. And then I got a like a weed adventure kind of story with my cousin. It's like Back to the Future meets How High. This is crazy. You could tell
Oh my
I
God.
wasn't in the right state of
You
mind when
saw
I
you
wrote this.
sold me Back to the Future. I love that movie. I freaking love that
Like
movie.
it is so this the way I just came up with this idea. I was just like, you know what? I looked at my cousin. I'm like, I'm gonna write a story because when we was doing the music, I did it with my cousin, and we did a lot of dumb shit when we was doing this. Like we did a lot of dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like I got a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
explaining to do when I go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? If they let me in, but. So, we're grown now. We were just joking about it, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna write a comic book about, us going on crazy adventures, but we're like, high and doing like retarded dumb shit, you know what I'm saying? Like just
Heck
getting into
yeah.
trouble throughout history, but keeping
Oh
it like
yeah.
historically accurate with things that really happened in history. But, you
Oh
just
my
throw us
God.
into the mix, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Heck yeah,
like
dude.
it's got to be historically accurate, but we just so happen to be in the background. Like
Oh
this
my God.
happened, but me and my cousin were in the background doing the most dumbest shit you could ever think of. You know what I'm saying?
No. Oh no. Oh my God,
Yeah, yeah. And
bro.
it's called The Chronicles. Of course, it had to be chronic. The Chronicles of Malo and Kremp. And
Dude, that sounds hilarious.
yeah, it's
Oh
it's
my God.
it's me, my cousin, and this. Like I said, I was very high when I came up with the concept of this story. There's this mystical genie that goes on this adventure with us, right?
Hmm.
And he's not the kind of genie that comes out of a lamp. He's not blue or nothing like that. He comes out of this weed that we just so happen to steal from somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Oh
just
my God.
comes out of this blunt, but he's like I said, he's not no blue genie. He looks like a rabbi for some reason. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like it's probably gonna offend some people, but it's still funny. You'll get over being offended. Just wipe your boo boo. You know what I mean? It's a funny story. You
Heck
know?
yeah. Oh
You
my
know what I
God.
mean? But
Oh heck yeah.
let's get back to you, man. Like as an indie creator, what would you say was one of your biggest mistakes creating anything, whether it was a novel or one of your comic books?
My biggest mistakes.
Hmm.
Um,
Like you ever hit a wall that you knew, man, I kind of could have prevented this, but whatever, to each his own. You live and you learn.
I think my biggest mistake is probably jumping into production too fast
Hmm.
without actually having a full script done when I
Hmm.
first started.
Yeah.
Because
I just think it's the excitement. Like, oh man, I want to
yeah,
do this. You
yeah,
know?
because Arcfire, I had like part of the script done, and I just sent it to Ralphie, and we just started production, but I didn't have the full issue one story done.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think that's my biggest mistake. Uh,
Like just jumping in. I
uh,
mean, I kind of still create that way. Like,
yeah.
I'll create the
Like I
whole
still gotta make that
premise.
mistake with Arcfire issue two, but I
Yeah.
at least finished it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
When is that releasing?
Oh, I
Oh,
already
it's
did
out
the
already, you said.
yeah. I already did the Kickstarter. It's
Okay.
funded. Just getting the final. I'm just waiting for the final 3 pages left from Ralphie, so I
Hmm.
can get that to print. So I can get that to print, so I can
Hmm.
ship those out from the Kickstarter backers
Okay.
to the Kickstarter backers. Jeez, I can't speak English. But you can grab both copies on my website, killside.com.
Okay.
So,
All
but
right.
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna make sure I put the links in there. Now, here's my question because I've never done a Kickstarter campaign. Never. Not one time.
Mm,
I've backed many projects. I've always, I don't know, maybe it was that hustle mentality from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm,
I just got the product. Let me bring it right to the streets. Like, I
mhm.
never did. How hard is it or how easy is it to put together a Kickstarter campaign?
Oh no, the first question was right. How hard it is? It ain't easy at all. It's not easy at all because
Hmm.
Arcfire, it was actually my first Kickstarter ever,
Okay. All
and
right.
I was actually
How'd
shocked
that
that
go?
it funded. That was a shocker. But it's so many moving parts that you have to put into it.
Hmm.
You have to have some um from what I've learned, make sure you have to a lot of people love seeing the finished cover and seeing some finished pages on a
Yeah.
pre-launch page to get them
Hmm.
interested and wanting to back it, to follow it and to back it. You have to make sure you have the description of the story.
Hmm.
Like make sure you have your team on there, who's part of your team and where it's coming
Okay.
from. And then the next part is marketing. I get to get people interested in following
Hmm.
it, and
Hmm.
because you have to do it. I'm like, dude, you cannot slack on a Kickstarter whatsoever.
I could imagine.
Oh my
I could
God.
imagine.
Um, but it's definitely not an easy process.
Hmm.
Especially grabbing people's attention.
Hmm.
Especially with the algorithm on the social media platforms changing every single day. So then again, because sometimes you might get days you don't get nothing, like no reaction because nobody saw it because the algorithm changed and they didn't push
Yeah.
your post. Well, a lot of times they don't push your post because you're not paying them to promote your stuff. You're not paying the platform to promote your stuff, so they basically suppress you
Yeah. That's
and
how
things like.
that's all it is. You gotta pay to play. That's it. You gotta pay to play.
It's Dude, it's
Hmm.
so freaking ridiculous. But by the grace of God, people saw my posts. Probably
Okay.
because I posted like 5 times a day.
Okay.
I
That
did
was
not
my
recommend
next
that.
question.
I do not recommend that whatsoever.
No?
No, because
How
that will
often should you post and to what social media platforms are you posting to, you know,
when
that brought
people.
you that success for your first Kickstarter?
From what I learned, it doesn't matter how much you post or how many
Hmm.
times you post because you know, always hear people give advice. I'm like, post this many times a day or this many
Yeah.
times on this. I was like, that did that. That doesn't work. It does not
Yeah.
work at all. You have to find your own pattern.
Hmm.
That's my
Yeah.
advice. You have to find your own pattern, and you have to test each time. Because each time is I mean, because each day is a different time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times for me, a lot of times I post very late at night because people are up at night apparently.
Oh yeah. I'm one of them.
I'm a night owl. And so like on YouTube, my YouTube shorts, I post like very late night views come in quickly. And I got up to like 1,000 views on YouTube now.
Okay.
Um Posting like very at night. And so I then like the next day I tested like a video like early in the morning or midday,
Nothing.
nothing. It's like
Hmm.
interesting. So I deleted it, waited, posted it later at night, views again.
Better.
Like, okay. So I was like, it
Hmm.
really depends on you just have to make your pattern. And
Yeah.
then one day I tried it again, a new day, midday, views actually started coming in. Okay, algorithm change. So you
Hmm.
really have to, you
So I
basically,
play with
every
it.
day is a test. Every day is a
Hmm.
simple test.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like, even like on Instagram, I post, say, like recently I post a reel. It got flooded with comments and likes and views and I was like, interesting. And well, like I could post like a piece of art, I get like some likes, not that many. I
Hmm.
post a random meme, it's still getting like today from a year ago for some
Yeah.
reason.
Hmm.
And so I was like, okay, this algorithm is interesting. And then
Hmm.
I post a poetry I wrote. I get a lot. I'm like, I get likes from people I forgot I'm friends with on social. I was like, interesting. So I look at that. So I strategically kind of make sure to post to see which post gets the most reaction. Then I start like trying to change up my marketing a bit and see how well it does. And then ever since I've done that, been getting some views and getting some reactions. So I was like, okay, so every day is a different type of test. I can't tell you when to post because you have to decide that on your own. You have to test the waters and see.
Hmm.
I was like, Jamie Lee Curtis said it the best. Like, she doesn't like giving advice because she doesn't want to feel like she's controlling your life.
Yeah.
And I
Hmm.
was like, when people ask me for advice, I was like, I don't want to tell you what I do because it might not
Yeah.
work for you.
Yeah.
So,
Things
so
are
the thing I
different
would
for
give, I'm
everybody.
like, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, so advice I would give, I'm like, test the water,
Yeah.
but most importantly, have fun with it
Hmm.
and make sure you have the mindset that you want to do this long term because you cannot just jump into this if like you have to have the determination, you have to have that mindset. It's always about mindset.
Yeah.
If your mind is in it, your heart's gonna be in it, your soul's gonna be in it. You're gonna be
Yeah.
good.
You can't come at
You get
this half-ass.
you get at
You
all.
gotta, you gotta go in 100%.
And I was like, and also I would advise like go on podcasts, see who have you on their podcasts, because that also
Hmm.
brings in more audience for you, potentially getting your product.
Yeah.
I was like, if you, I was like, I'm like, you can't be shy because I'm like, this is a entertainment industry. You have to
Yeah.
entertain,
Yeah.
and you have to, and also I'm like, don't be fake. That's be you. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to be you. I
Exactly.
was like, that's there. All, I'm like, 'cause social media is fake. It's fake all the time,
Yeah.
all the freaking time.
Everything is fake. Now with AI, who knows what we're looking at? You know what I'm
Right,
saying? It's like,
exactly. I was like, it's
you know,
ridiculous. It's really
hmm
ridiculous. I'm like, simply just be you, and your crowd will come.
hmm
That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing I've learned. I was like, if you
exactly.
just be real and just be you, trust me, your
Hmm.
crowd will come. Because,
Yeah, and
dude, when as soon as I started just being me and my socials have been growing slowly, but they have been growing.
yeah, organically,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I'm like, I ain't buying no followers. I'm just
Hmm.
freaking posting, being me, and just showing.
Yeah,
I'm like, yes, I'm a poet. I'm a writer. I'm a
yeah.
inspirational leader. I'm a mentor, and then I freaking got feedback from like people saying that they admire me. I was like, what did
Yeah.
I do to be? I was like, okay,
Hey,
I'm mutual who has a huge following, and I remember she told me saying that she sees me and she gets inspired by me. I was like, what the fuck did I do?
hey, it could be any little thing. It could be that little poem you wrote or a comic
Right.
book
I'm
image
just
you
like,
showed, something
I
that
was like,
grabbed
what the
somebody's
crap
attention. They're
did
like,
I
wow, you know what?
do?
Yeah.
And I remember I posted a video of me talking or speaking a poem I wrote.
Hmm.
And my friend who has a huge, she's verified and everything, she commented, she said, you have a great talent.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you so much.
Hmm.
And I remember somebody reached out to me on Instagram asking about an interview because they said they've been watching my brand and how I grow my brand or like how I do my brand, especially about mental health. And they asked me if I could be on, if they could be on my podcast.
Hmm.
And I was like, when I got that, man, I was like, okay, so clearly some people are watching me without me knowing who's watching me.
Yeah. Hey, the
I
more
was like,
eyes, the merrier.
right.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, so I'm like, okay, so something's getting out there that
Hmm.
people are seeing, but I don't know who's seeing it because no one's speaking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
As long as they
like
watching,
interesting.
as
And
long
it's
as they
like
watching, eventually
fascinating.
they'll come out. Uh-huh.
Right. I was like, of course,
All
I
right.
got my and I do. I was so happy. I got hate comments before. I was like, I'm doing something right. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
The
like
more
some
they
random
hate, the more
or
they
some
like you.
random trolls out the blue.
I love the
And
hate.
dude, I'd be crying, laughing my tail off. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, did your mother not love you or something? Because why are you
Yeah,
so angry? I was like, I don't even know you, and you don't freaking know me. So why the hell you hate? I'm like, thank you for the hate because you interact with my content, but
exactly.
Jesus,
You hated so much that you had to tell me that you hated. Thank
and
you for
bro,
taking that 5 seconds out of your day to tell
right,
me
and
how much you didn't like me. I love it.
bro,
Thank
and
you.
when I commented on like posts on Facebook, and someone trying to insult me, so like, go be a look good comic book boy and go do something else.
That's fine. I'll
And
be that.
I looked at his profile and said, "Oh, he's just an old fart that wastes his life." I
Yeah,
was like, first of all, buddy, being a nerd is actually really fun because I'm making money. I probably make more than you.
yeah,
Second of all, I have my own company. You probably have no,
yeah.
you probably don't. You probably working on under somebody that you don't even like. Three, I actually have a following a bit. So
Exactly.
clearly, being a comic book boy is actually really good for me.
Exactly.
It's
And it's only gonna get better from here, you know?
and then I'm like, and plus, I don't just do comic books, by the way. If you actually looked at my profile, I do shoes, I do drinks, I do comic
Hmm.
books, I do
Yeah.
novels, I do magazines, I do
Yeah.
like
You're
like
just an
so
all-around creative. It's not just
exactly,
you're not focusing on one medium. It's you're letting your
exactly,
creative juices just spill all over the
exactly,
table. And that's how it should be. You know,
exactly,
like that's what
and
I wanted to do more than just like I said with the music. I kind of felt like
mhm,
I need to do something more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly,
what's the next
yeah,
step? And then there was comic books, and then I wrote a couple novels myself, and now I'm working on a
mhm,
trading card game. And it's not because I like to I'm always doing something different. I like to test out where I like to test the extent of my creativity. You know what I'm
thank you.
saying?
Somebody gets it. Yes.
Yeah, like I want to see how far I could go. It may not
Hmm.
work. It may be the worst thing I ever did. But guess what? There's only
Hmm.
one way for me to find out. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Oh
And
yeah,
that's it. And that's how it should be. When you're creative, test the waters. You should never feel
exactly.
like, well, I can't do that because I can't do this. Like they say, you got to be a great artist to be a comic book. To make comic books. That's bullshit.
Right, it really
Most
is.
comic books
It really
aren't
is.
created by one person. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like,
Exactly.
come
Thank
on.
you.
And
Thank you.
even if it was, how long it's gonna take you to make one comic book? You gotta write it, and you gotta do this, and you gotta do that,
You
and
got a
it's gonna
budget. You
take
got, yeah.
it's gonna take you like a
It's
thousand years
legit.
to put out an
It's
issue.
legit a whole movie process basically, just on
Yeah, you know what I'm
paper.
saying? Exactly,
Just on
exactly. So,
paper.
like
Yeah.
it's all about networking you know, with us, with
Oh,
like-minded creatives. You know what I'm
and
saying?
then
Like, oh,
I also want to say a story about other hate comments I got. That wasn't on my post, by the way. It
hmm
was on another mutual of mine. She made a simple post talking about relationships and how a man is supposed to be for how a man is supposed to treat a woman and stuff like that, like from her perspective. And I gave my perspective as a man, how she is correct. As a man, how we're supposed to treat women, right?
hmm
Tell me why I get these many replies of
I
some
could only
random
imagine.
dudes. I'm like, bro, you know she's not finna let you hit, right? And like, bro, I'm like, then some other dude call me a simp. I'm like, first of all, she's my friend.
hmm
I literally working with her on projects right now. Second of all, you just proved her point right now, you idiot. And third of all, the reason you're getting triggered is because she's right.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then
And they
and
mad
then
that you on her side. They're like, this guy,
and
you
then
know.
like the dude replies, "Oh, dude, being friend zoned and shit." I was like, I literally just said she's my friend,
Yeah.
and I actually
That's
told. And the crazy thing, it was the same day. I was on the phone with her that same day, talking to her. I'm like, I don't know how you deal with these comments, like seriously. And I legit, I'm like, dude, I have more than I have something that you don't from her. One, I have
yeah,
her number. That's
exactly.
first of all. Two,
hmm
I have her respect, and three, I have her friendship. As I said, she's my friend.
Exactly. They're like, oh, if she's not gonna let you hit if you're so nice. That's just
I
dumb way of thinking.
was
Like, come
like,
on. No one's
I was
even
like, I
this ain't
ain't.
even a topic for that.
I was like, why is a man defending a woman always being considered trying to hit? I was like, it's called respect, for God's
hmm
sakes.
Yeah. hmm
And then some other dude, somebody said, saying, as a man is really a stretch. I mean, basically trying to say that I'm not a man. I was
Yeah.
like, I always bumps like, your definition of being a man is being toxic. You're not a man, you idiot. I'm saying, if me being a simp, I mean, if me,
hmm
if call, I mean, if me being respectful make me a simp, then I don't freaking care.
Yeah. I feel like
I was like, I
there's
don't freaking,
this. I don't know. I feel like there's this. I guess
um,
I guess I want to say like a stereotype people see when it comes to like people that create comic books and art and things like that. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, growing up, I always used to think, oh, these are some nerdy people or whatever. Till I stepped into that and I became one of those people. I'm like, I know
exactly,
some of the realest people that
exactly.
are writers, artists, anything. You know what I'm saying? And
And when
I
you
don't
think
know.
about it. I always said when you think about nerds actually run the world because who are the
Yeah,
ones that got businesses going?
and it
Who's
ain't
the head
even
of the
about
head of these corporations?
yeah,
It's
it
like
ain't even about being
nerds.
a nerd. Like I'm just doing what I like. You mad because you don't like nothing and you boring. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
if that makes me a nerd, I'm gonna be a nerd. If I want to pick up a comic book or buy some
Facts.
Funko Pops or and
Facts. Thank you.
it like get into things that I like. If that makes me a nerd, fine, I'm gonna be a nerd. If you want to test how much of a nerd I am, come see me and I'll show you how much of a nerd I can be. You know what I
Heck
mean? Because
yes. Heck yes.
like get out of here. I'm a
I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a Disney fan. I'm a Nickelodeon fan. I'm a
yeah,
Cartoon Network, Teen Nick. Who what else? I'm a hip hop fan. I love country too. I'm like I love country. I love jazz. I love old. I'm
absolutely.
like I love the. I'm like if you ask me who the artists are today, I would not be able to answer that question because I don't listen
Hmm.
to the artists today. I
Yeah.
listen to the old school like LL Cool J, Dr. Dre,
Hmm.
Ice
Yeah.
Cube, In Vogue,
Hmm.
um, what Ice shoot I forget the names something Pepper
Salt and pepper.
thank you Jesus Christ thank you like Salt and Pepper I was New Edition
Yeah.
Boys to Men I was like dude I'm
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah. All
I'm
day.
raised in old school high soul
All
dude
day.
brother
And to be
Michael
honest,
Jackson bro
I
Prince Whitney
think
Houston dude hell
oh,
yeah
absolutely, 100%. And honestly, I think most mainstream mediums right now, whether it's comic books, movies,
mm,
music, I feel like the mainstream, they're not putting out nothing worthwhile. Like, I feel
they're
like some of
not
the best stuff is coming on an independent level.
exactly
I
thank
feel
you
like a lot of the good comes to hip hop and rap music. A lot of the better music is coming from the indie scene. Comic books, I will spend I will I would buy indie comics before I buy a Marvel or DC comic. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly
I'll
uh-huh.
spend that $10 on that one issue, then like buying two or three, the weekly Marvels or DCs. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm,
I kind of know where they're gonna go with this or what's really happening. Like I want to see
mhm,
what this person who I don't know from a hole in the wall really, and they kind of like we in the same boat right now. Let me see what they putting out. Oh man, you're gonna find some hot shit. You're gonna find some whack shit. But that's
mhm.
everything. But I feel like some of the better things in most mediums of entertainment is coming on an independent level.
Agree
100%.
I've always
Even
been
on
saying
YouTube, indie
right
movies. Like
exactly
I forgot what it was. I came across it on TikTok, some
Mhm,
indie Freddy Krueger film. I was like, "Oh
mhm.
crap, this is better than even the last one that came out." Like
Oh,
I think indie
I do not
creators.
want to talk about the 2010 Shredder. Nope, I do not
Oh
want to
yeah,
bring
no,
that
we
up.
don't
No,
we don't
no,
talk about that. That
uh,
stays in the
no.
forgotten files. But that's just to prove my point. Like a lot of the independent projects
Mhm,
are kind of better than most mainstream projects. I'm not saying
mhm.
all of them, but a lot of it, a lot of it is. I mean, that's my opinion. People probably gonna comment on that, but I really think it is, man. I really think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I truly believe independent is the new Hollywood because we actually bring
Absolutely.
originality.
Exactly. We sitting here with our thoughts and we're not in a boardroom. We're not throwing ideas around to 20 different people and whatever sounds good is what we're gonna put together. Now
Mhm.
we just in our space trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And what we
Exactly,
come up with, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's
exactly.
that's just how I feel. I mean, and going back on the hate, and your Kickstarter, you did successfully put your first one out. Was there ever a time you wanted to feel like you wanted to quit? Like if that Kickstarter, especially if it didn't turn out the way it turned out,
No,
would you have
no.
continued or would you just stop?
hmm
Yeah.
I don't come from a family that quits. Like
Okay.
that's a basic forbidden word in our vocabulary is quit.
Hmm. Okay.
Because the way we see it, especially we don't consider ourselves religious. We're more of a spiritual family.
Yeah.
Like we're
Hmm.
believer because like I don't want to get preachy, as people say, but like even when you think about it, when you read the Bible, God never calls his people Christians.
Hmm.
He literally just say believers, the
Hmm.
believers of Christ.
Hmm.
So we always say we're believers. We're not. necessarily Christians, but if people ask us, yeah, we're going to say Christian. Yes, we're Christian because not
Yeah.
everyone understands what spirituality what truly is. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we say yes, we're Christians. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the way we see things is um, a what was it? A rejection is nothing more than a redirection.
Exactly.
So the way we go by is like sometimes you have to. It's like God allows us to fail because He's teaching us a lesson of what not to do the next time.
Exactly.
And
A
it's
hundred
like
percent.
like a lot of like people are way too easy to quit because one, their mind is not in the game, which when their mind's not in the game, their heart's not in the game. When their heart's not in the game, their spirit's not in the game. So
Yeah.
they're not connected to
Mm-hmm.
the I can't find I don't know the right word, but they're just not connected to where they're supposed to be, and
Yeah.
because they're not ready, so they're
Yeah.
easily quitting because they feel like they see. Because also the other thing, people allow others to get in their head because they see so much success on this person,
Yeah.
and
You
so that
know.
also creates jealousy and
Yeah. And this is
strife,
hard
and
work.
makes yeah.
This is hard work.
I was like, but when you think about it, you don't know what the heck that person went through to get this success until
Exactly.
they talk about it. I've seen
Exactly.
so many successful people I follow on social media. They talk about how they nearly off themselves before
Yeah.
they became successful because how many
Mm-hmm.
failures they had. And that's why I love following the creators I follow because they be honest about their mental health
Yeah.
and talking about it. And mental health is not talked about enough. And that's like
No.
I'm getting to
Ah.
that because now that's why I'm getting into that
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere of like that's why I started my podcast, a mental health podcast. Like it's like I call it my therapy session, social work. But I know, but I balance it out by so yes, this podcast is main topic is mental health, but we also talk about entertainment and what we
Mm-hmm.
like to do, and just talk about you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're not comfortable talking about mental health, you can still come on and we'll talk about everything else but mental health. I don't care.
Yeah.
We can still interview you. Just give me a heads up, and I won't bring up mental health if you're not comfortable talking about it. That's completely
Mm-hmm.
fine. I still want to interview you.
Yeah.
And I just want like if you just need a good a safe space just to talk and just get stuff off your chest, come on. We can have
Yeah.
fun.
And just
I
shoot
was
the
like,
shit.
because
That's it.
yeah, I have a degree in human services, so that's
Okay.
literally my background. Uh, so I was like, I wanted to be like a social worker, but I don't want to be a social worker that be in an office talking, being in a box. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm like, that's nerve-wracking. I was like, I went to a leadership camp called Bridge Builders where we learned how to teamwork, how to how to network, how to be social, how to meet people that we don't know yet. But after a whole week together, we'd be a family and actually know how to talk and get out of our comfort zones. I'd be in my community picking up trash around the community. That's what we did in my leadership camp. And that's also where I learned to get out of my comfort zone too, was through Bridge
Yeah.
Builders in my high school years. And so that's why I'm like, I want to get to that type of social work where we get our hands into something and get our mind stimulated to something else.
Yeah.
I was like, forget about what's going on right now. Let's get our minds and our hands dirty for a minute and just have fun. Like, bring that child out of you.
Yeah.
You know, I
Exactly.
was like, dude,
Exactly.
I'm like, we can stop adulting for a good few hours and just be a
Mm-hmm.
kid
And
again.
just be us. That's it.
And
That's it.
that's all. That's literally all I want to do. Like someday I want to build my own studio, my own company studio, where
Mm-hmm.
I'm like where it's publishing, but I'm also doing photography. So I do
Yeah.
photography,
Okay.
and I also like bring people in this house. I'm like when I get to do like in-person podcasts, I'm like, come on, let's have some fun. Let's do some weird shit. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
let's
You know what
do
I'm
some
saying? It's all
let's
about
just nerd out and just have fun and just be
that's
kids
it.
again.
It's
Like, come
about
on.
being the true you, even if it's for an
Exactly.
hour a day or
Exactly.
an hour
Yes.
a week. Sometimes we gotta
Heck
reconnect
yes.
with us. Because, like you said, you know what? We're adult in 24 hours a day. We're working. We got bills. We got families. We got
Hmm.
this. We got that. You know, it's the constant repeat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Man.
Sometimes we just need that one little hour just
Heck
to
yeah.
forget about everything and just be me. You know what I'm
Heck
saying? Let's
yes. Heck
whether it's
yes.
picking up or playing some video games or
Heck yeah.
whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Having a
Heck yeah.
conversation with someone who's trying to be in that same position as you. Like
Like, yeah,
my
man.
therapy is creating. You know what I'm saying? I'm bipolar,
Exactly.
and it
Yeah.
it helps me from losing my mind. It really does. Like,
That part.
I had my
Yeah.
break a couple years ago. Went
Hmm.
to the hospital, and when I came out, I was like, man, nope. I need to. My therapy is with this pen and this paper. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it always. I'm gonna never stop creating. Whether I make hits or make flops, I'm gonna create. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do it all. What works, works. What doesn't, hey, at least I tried. You know what I mean? You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
But
Like,
on that
yeah.
note, you know what I'm saying? We're about to end it in a second. I want to
Mm.
just end it on this one last note. Like, as I mentioned before, I want people to watch this podcast, whether they experience and putting projects out. Like I said, not just comic books, everything. Whether you're putting together a game, a movie, or you photog, whatever it is, whatever kind of art you trying to put out. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same hustle.
Mm.
Like what? As a person who's already put out some successful Kickstarters and projects, and you got a couple books out, what advice would you give to that person coming across this video, like just looking for some kind of guidance and how to do what we do, how to get to that stage, how to, you know, the ups and the downs they're gonna go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of advice would you give to that person?
Well, first, it starts with mindset.
Hmm.
Always start with mindset. Ask yourself, is this really what you want to do? And ask yourself why.
Hmm.
And if your answer to why is to make money, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Yeah.
But if your answer to why is because I want to tell a story through any
Hmm.
aspect of if it's books, comics, games, or whatever, you're getting like you're getting there. You're ready because
Hmm.
you're not thinking about money. You're not getting to that's the other thing that's why people fail is because they think about money. They
Yeah.
want to make money. They don't have the
Hmm.
passion. They don't like money.
Yeah.
But I would say in this industry, you have to make sure you have the mindset of passion. You have the heart of passion. You have the to get through the pain, to get through the hardships. But most importantly, know that failure is not failure. Failure is just a redirection. So
Exactly.
you have to fall down before you can get back up, brother.
Couldn't say it better.
Brothers and sisters, you have to fall down to get back up.
Hmm.
Because if you just get up, what are you going to learn if you just keep getting up? Like, oh, that's like just keep getting. But if you just up without it falling, what you going to learn? How you going to teach somebody else? You
Yeah.
have to fall
Hmm.
down to keep pushing through, to keep what my mother says, keep faithing through because
Yeah.
it's all a work of faith.
Exactly.
And
It's not
but
about to me, it's not about the fall. It's about
yeah,
what you do when you get up.
exactly. It's like if you fall, what you gonna
Because we all
do?
fall.
I
We
was
all
like, heck
fall.
yeah,
We all gonna trip
heck
one
yeah.
day. But
Oh
what
yeah, oh
happens
yeah,
when you get up? Do you continue to
oh
make
yeah,
that same mistake,
oh yeah.
or do you redirect yourself?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But on that note, man,
Oh,
Kevin, I
and
want to
then
thank you.
also,
Oh,
well, sorry, I'll also say also when you get to the point, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let this hinder me.
yeah,
I'm gonna keep pressing through.
yeah.
Then you really know now you're harnessed into it,
Hmm.
and as you keep going, you keep walking through. Now your spirit is being built up, and now you
Yep.
got your mind, your heart, and your spirit
Yeah, you gotta be
uh,
that gotta be
aligned.
aligned. You gotta have the
Exactly,
1, 2, and the 3. You can't have the one
exactly.
or the two
And
because
then
you're never gonna see through
and
without
and
all
then my
three.
last Exactly. And then my last piece of advice is like also have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like for real, have freaking fun with it. Just be you. Don't be afraid to get out your comfort zone. Take risks because risk is what
Mhm.
thrives in this business because a lot of people take risks.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take a risk, you're just going to be a one footnote, and
Exactly. You're never gonna
and
know.
you're never going to know that you love something if you don't take a risk.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
100%.
but
A
yeah,
hundred percent.
but yeah, that's
And
that's that's my advice.
that's what's up, man. And like I was saying before, man, I want to thank you for coming on. You're the first guest I've had since I created this concept of putting this podcast together for creators. You know what I'm saying? I know there's like a million out there, but my thing is it's not just about bringing up, promoting people's projects, man. I want to promote, sorry, I want to promote the creator. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I want to promote. I want to see what's in your head. I know. I see the comic books. I see the work.
mm.
I wanna see what's in your mind, man. And that's what I invest in. You know, I cool. You know, people got cool projects, but I invest in the creator. So I know, oh man, that
Exactly.
person put out that, it's gonna be a hit. You know what I'm
Heck
saying?
yeah.
You know
Heck
what I'm
yeah.
saying? But on that note, Kevin, I want to thank you for being here today. Like I
Hey,
said,
thanks for having me,
everybody,
man.
I'm gonna have links and all that, probably some pretty flashy things here with all the information. But check out the Kickstarter, man. Hallowfien #1. And when does it drop? When is it going live?
Friday the 13th, February
Friday
13th.
13th. Look at that. Next Friday. I already got that saved on my
Yes, sir.
Kickstarter. So the minute it go live, I'm gonna get that notification and you should too. Cause this is gonna drop before the Friday 13th. So I don't want to hear no shit from nobody. You know what I'm saying? But once again, Kevin, thank you for joining. And I do hope to continue this. And I'll catch you on another episode one day. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
sir.
But on
Yes,
that
sir.
note, good looking, man. And I'll check you on the flip side, my guy.
You too, brother.